All right, so if rumors are true, Sony's going to be releasing a follow-up to the A7C with the A7C II, and like people always do, people are getting ahead of themselves with what they think the A7C will be or should be. I'm seeing a lot of videos talking about what we can expect or what the A7C II should be, and again, like I said, people are getting ahead of themselves and they're setting themselves up for disappointment again by expecting diamonds when they want to pay the price of gold. So I thought that I would also jump on this train and let you guys know what I think a Sony A7C is going to look like. Let's get into it. All right, so one of the upgrades that I think that we're going to get in the A7C II is just an upgrade to the body. I think it'll be slightly bigger, and it'll be slightly bigger just for a couple reasons, for actually three main reasons. Here's why I think the body will be slightly bigger for three main reasons. One, I think Sony heard all of us cry and moan some more about the lack of a third wheel on this camera. I would love it if they took away this exposure compensation dial and just gave us that programmable dial that they gave us on the A7 IV. That would alleviate a lot of the pains that I think people had with the A7C, and I just think that that's going to be one of the changes that they make to the body. Change number two is I think that they'll make the grip slightly larger. Just slightly though, just because it seems to be the overall wave that Sony is riding. The A7R4 got a bigger grip after the A7 III. The A7 IV got a better grip, and so it just seems to be the way that they're going. Just an overall slightly bigger body to give a little bit bigger grip. I think that's going to be change number two. And then change number three, and I think this will be the only thing that we get from the A7R5, is I think that they will give us that screen. I think that it'll flip up and flip out, and so I think that that's going to be the third major change that we see with the A7C II. All right, the second major change that I think that we're going to see with the A7 II is just a slight change to the sensor. I don't know that they're going to give us the 33 megapixel sensor that they gave us in the A7R4. I don't know why they would. I'm not saying that they won't. I'm just saying I don't know why they would. But I do think that we'll get 10-bit. I do think that we'll get 422. And I think that'll be the only change that we get to the sensor. I don't think that there's going to be any major change in slow motion. I don't think there's going to be any major change and crop factors and stuff like that. I really do think that what Sony is just going to do is just give us an update to this camera rather than do what they did with the A7 III, which was take all of the parts from the A7 III and put it into this smaller camera. So less of a smaller A7 IV, which I think a lot of you guys are thinking that this camera is going to be. I implore you, don't go that route, and more of an A7 II kind of refresh. So I do think that we're going to get the 10-bit color. I do think that we're going to get the 33 megapixels, and then I think that's where it'll stop. I don't know that it's going to be that much different. I don't know that Sony's going to do the same thing with the A7 IV that they did with the A7 III, just because the A7 IV hasn't been out long enough. I think it was something like 3 or 4 years after the release of the A7 III that we got this A7C. And so I just think that Sony would be doing themselves a disservice if they were to do the same thing and put all of the A7 IV parts into a A7C II body. The last major change that I think that we're going to see, and you guys may not like this, but it is what it is I think it's going to be a $2,000 camera as opposed to an $1,800 camera. I think it might even reach up to about $2,100 point mark, just because it just seems to be the way that things are all going. So that'll be one of the changes. There will be a price increase, and I think people are going to be upset about it. I hope that people will just see it for what it is and that it's just the sign of the times. But I have to implore you guys, with this price increase, if you are thinking that Sony is going to give us all of these, you know, incredible changes, then I think you guys might be setting yourselves up for disappointment, the same way that you guys set yourselves up for disappointment on this camera. Going back to the body real quick, I actually just remember something. I do believe that we'll finally get the new menus that we got with the A7R3 and the A7 IV. So new menus also. All right, so that's it. That's what I think the new camera is gonna be. Just those slight changes, slight change to the body, new screen, bigger grip, and then that third wheel. I think that they will give us a new menu system. I think that it will be a slight bump in megapixels. I do think that we're gonna get 10-bit color. And then I do think that there will be a price increase. In fact, I'm sure of it. If anyone thinks that the A7C II is going to release for $1,800, you guys will be sadly disappointed. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Let's talk about it. I'm Jamil. This has been a boy named Jamil. I'll see you guys later. Peace.